In today's video, we're going to dive into the upcoming weather pattern where we have multiple major snow systems to track across most of the United States, from the west to the central region and into many of the eastern states. We'll be discussing these major winter storms alongside a significant push of cold air moving in later on. Let's start by looking at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook from the National Weather Service, which covers February 11th through the 15th. During this period, we see cold air pouring into much of the central U.S., especially in the northern regions where temperatures will be well below normal. The Northeast also features some below normal temperatures, as does the Southwest. Meanwhile, a southeast ridge is very prominent across the southeastern states. This pattern will play a key role in shaping the storm tracks over the next couple of weeks. That being said, as I mentioned yesterday, I believe the National Weather Service may be slightly overestimating the strength of this southeast ridge. I suspect it will be more confined to the far southeastern states, meaning cooler temperatures could extend further south than currently projected. However, this ridge will still be a crucial factor in shaping the upcoming weather pattern. Now, looking at precipitation trends from February 11th through 15th, almost the entire United States is expected to experience average or above average precipitation. However, the highest above average precipitation is forecasted for the West and parts of the Gulf states, extending into the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic. These areas will likely see the most significant moisture during this time. Moving on to the 8 to 14 day outlook, once again, I feel the warmth in the southeast is slightly overdone. I anticipate the warmth will be positioned farther to the southeast than indicated. Meanwhile, cold air will continue spreading through the north central and northeastern states, where most of our snowfall threats will persist. Looking back at the past 7 days, covering the final day of January and the first 6 days of February, we can see that temperatures have been quite warm, just as we predicted. Warmth has dominated the central U.S., Midwest, and Mid-Atlantic, with above normal temperatures also observed in much of the West, including the Rockies. The majority of the nation has experienced warmth, with cooler temperatures mainly confined to the Northwest and parts of the Northeast. We're well aware that temperatures have been on the warmer side, but colder air is coming, and so are significant snow threats. Some warmer days are ahead, especially in the southeast, but the pattern will be fluctuating. Now let's take a look at the European weather model. In today's runs, the European model appears to be the most aggressive in predicting major storms and sustain long-term cold. On the other hand, the GFS model is showing a stronger southeast ridge and is less bullish on a major storm system that I've been keeping an eye on for about 10 days now. While the location of this potential storm has been inconsistent across model runs, they do consistently show a sub-990 millibar low pressure system somewhere in the eastern half of the nation. This suggests the possibility of a major storm, though it's too early to say for certain. When forecasting 7 to 12 days out, we need to remain cautious. The potential is there, but it's still too soon to lock into a specific solution. At this stage, it's about awareness and preparation rather than certainty. Now, looking at current conditions, let's fast forward to around 7 p.m. this evening. By this time, we'll still have lingering rain showers and thunderstorms across Kentucky, Tennessee, and surrounding states. Early this morning, we even had some thunder in Virginia. Unfortunately, I missed capturing it for my vlog since it happened so early, but there will be plenty more thunderstorms to record this year. Meanwhile, a storm system is approaching the West Coast this evening, bringing rainfall to lower elevations and heavy snowfall to the Sierra Nevada and parts of the Cascades. This could be a significant system for California, Nevada, and Oregon. Additionally, we have a low pressure system moving across Canada between the Great Lakes and Hudson Bay, typically a sign that colder air is on the way. A secondary low just offshore of the Northeast will also bring snowfall to parts of New England later this evening. Moving into Friday, February 7th, that West Coast storm will shift inland, reaching the Rockies. By this point, it will be over Wyoming, bringing snowfall to the Sierra Nevada, Cascades, and northern Rockies, with the heaviest snow likely in Idaho, Utah, Montana, and Wyoming. Meanwhile, thunderstorms and showers are expected in the deep south. This aligns with our previous forecast. January saw historically low thunderstorm activity due to widespread freezing temperatures all the way to the Gulf Coast. However, February's southeast ridge has reopened the door for increased thunderstorm and severe weather potential, which is why we've seen an uptick in storm activity. Now let's move ahead to Saturday, February 8th. This system is moving quickly. It started over California, then moved into Wyoming on day 2, and by day 3, it's over the Ohio Valley. That's an impressive pace for a low pressure system. By this time, we'll see widespread showers and thunderstorms across the Ohio Valley and surrounding regions, with snowfall developing over the upper Midwest and Great Lakes. Some winter weather may also affect parts of the mid-Atlantic, but with a warm front lifting northward, any brief snow or freezing rain could quickly transition to rain, minimizing overall impact. By early Sunday, February 9th, this storm will be offshore, but before that, moderate to heavy snowfall will impact parts of New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and even southwestern Maine. Accumulations could be significant, making this a notable winter storm for those areas. Looking ahead to Monday, February 10th, another round of showers and thunderstorms will likely develop across the southeast due to the persistent southeast ridge. The jet stream will be relatively flat across the U.S. at this point, a pattern known as zonal flow, which usually results in quick-moving storms that are less intense but still capable of producing active weather. The northern regions are expected to be cooler than average, while the southern regions will be warmer than average in many cases. For the most part, if we see a major storm, the reason we don't usually see them with zonal flows is because the storm disrupts the flow. So if a major storm develops, the flow will no longer be zonal. As we move toward Tuesday afternoon, we see a major storm developing. Suddenly it's no longer a zonal flow, and we notice all sorts of changes in the weather. This storm disrupts the zonal flow, and we see some low pressure over Colorado with snowfall showers across the plains and southern Rockies extending into parts of the Midwest. We also see low pressure growing in the southeast, where thunderstorms are likely in Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, parts of Oklahoma, Texas, northern Louisiana, northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, and possibly northern Georgia. In these areas, rain showers are more likely than thunderstorms. We're seeing snowfall in Ohio, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Pennsylvania, and parts of northern Delaware. We need to watch whether a low pressure system develops behind this storm and creates a warm front, as this could disrupt the snowfall. If a low develops offshore, it could enhance the storm. Let's see how this plays out as we move forward. The low forms offshore, leading to significant snowfall for the affected areas. The southern mid-Atlantic may see a mix of snow, ice, and rain. The northern half of Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, southern New York, and southern New England are likely to see the most snowfall from this system, which is expected to continue into Wednesday next week. This system is expected to be a little less intense than the one from Saturday to Sunday. Interestingly, the southeast ridge is making its presence felt, with a low moving straight up the coast, which is a typical storm track. Another low may develop further north, impacting the Northeast, Ohio Valley, and parts of the Midwest with snowfall, while rain and ice make things messy along the boundary. Thunderstorms are possible again, which is typical when the southeast ridge is a factor. We also see a western system bringing rainfall to the lower areas and coastal regions with snowfall in the southeast Nevada mountains. A weaker low pressure system to the northwest may bring snowfall to the northern Rockies and northern Cascades. Meanwhile, the storm will bring accumulating snowfall to parts of the Ohio Valley, Northeast, and possibly the northern mid-Atlantic. This system is so close to the coast that the warm air from the southeast ridge could prevent the snow from making it too far inland. The storm could create a special snowfall event for the interior Northeast, including New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. By 1 p.m., the low is moving over the area, dragging a cold front with a warm, humid air mass in front of it. This could lead to thunderstorms or even severe weather, as strong cold fronts often trigger such events. So by mid to late next week, we may see a severe weather threat in the southeast. Out west, the storm is intensifying, possibly one of the most significant snow events for the Sierra Nevada mountains this winter. This could be good news for the ski resorts, as they've been lacking snow lately. California may also experience heavy rainfall. As we approach Friday, February 14th, the snow system will have moved out, but the West will experience a more intense storm pattern with multiple low pressure systems bringing precipitation to almost every mountain range. The Deep South and Southeast will likely see thunderstorms on February 14th and 15th. This is around the time we saw a major blizzard in yesterday's video affecting the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. However, the European model is showing significant changes, and we may see some crazy shifts in the forecast as we get closer to the date. Two major players will start things out on Saturday, February 15th. A 997 millibar low will be over Missouri, with a secondary low trying to develop off the East Coast. Whether this secondary low becomes the primary one will determine the storm's track. If it does, we could see significant snowfall across the plains, Midwest, Great Lakes, and Ohio Valley. If the energy transfers offshore, the heavier snowfall could shift to the eastern part of the system. It's also worth noting that the storm is expected to arrive earlier than predicted. If the cold air isn't in place, this could affect snowfall amounts. But if it arrives later, more cold air will be in place, allowing for more snowfall further east. There are a lot of moving parts, and I know this is getting repetitive, but it looks like a decent setup for severe weather in the heavier precipitation areas, especially for thunderstorms. Heavy snowfall will already be starting in the northern plains, upper Midwest, and Great Lakes by the afternoon hours of Saturday, February 15th. By 7 p.m., the storm will intensify quickly with a 991 millibar low over Illinois. The Arctic air will dive south, bringing strong winds and potentially blizzard conditions. When the blue and red lines are close together, it indicates very strong winds, which are a key component of blizzards. These conditions will reduce visibility and cause snowdrifts, making travel dangerous. By the early hours of Sunday, February 16th, we'll see the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley still experiencing snowfall with a 971 millibar low pressure system. The storm will continue to intensify, and this is something to keep an eye on as it develops. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and stay tuned for my next update. I'll keep you protected before and after the storm.